Hello my lovelies and welcome to today's video. Today I will be doing my beauty roundup of 2017. I know that it obviously is like the 9th of January, so I'm a little bit late off the mark, but unfortunately I've had other things that I've needed doing. I've got some projects going on, like some makeup artistry projects happening, which you may have seen a little tempter of on Instagram. But yeah, so I will be starting off with sort of the two skincare things that have really stuck out to me in 2017 that I've been using a lot, and that I've been using for a while, all the while I've had it. And the first thing is this is the Salted Caramel Body Butter from Superdrug. It is their own brand, but it smells absolutely delicious. It smells really nice. As you can see, I've used quite a lot of it. It's really thick. So it's really good for really bad dry skin patches, and although it is a body butter, I do actually use it on my face if I feel like I really need the extra boost of moisturising, and I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. It was such a good price, and yeah, so that's why that's in my beauty roundup. And I have another moisturiser here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really all that up on my skincare. I kind of just do the basics. I cleanse my face, I remove my makeup, I use a face wash, every now and again I'll use a face mask, and I moisturise every day, well, twice a day. So but the other one is this, and this is the Nip and Fab Soften Kale Fix Moisturiser. This is just a small one, but once this runs out I will most definitely be buying a larger one of this. I absolutely love the smell. I think it's a really good price. Nip and Fab are now becoming more easily accessible for people, which is fantastic. I've seen it in my local pharmacy and places like that, so it's definitely becoming far more accessible, and I really love this one. It's quite thick. It takes a while to absorb, which doesn't really bother me. I'm not really fussed about that. And it accepts makeup absolutely beautifully. It does layer really well with makeup on the top of it, so it's a definite win for me. Okay, so that's the only two things I have in that little section, and next up I have some basey bits, like, you know, the bits that you always start out with, and I have two foundations and a concealer that have really stuck out for me. And the concealer that has stuck out for me the most, which is probably everybody's one, is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. I have the shade Fair 1 because I am basically translucent. It's a really fantastic concealer. I'm sure you've seen everybody from Zoella to whoever raving about it. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a really good product. So affordable. It's like £4.19. I don't know why it's such an odd price, but it's like £4.19. Sorry. For an incredibly decent concealer that works, that blends really nicely, that is really good shade, has a reasonably okay shade range. It has like 4 shades, I think, which is okay for a concealer. I mean, you can do better, but for its start up, you know, and it's a really fantastic product for such a good price. And so now I'm going to talk about the foundations. I have one high-end and I have one drugstore that have really stuck out to me this year. And the high-end one is this. This is the Nars All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. I don't use this all the time. I tend to use this when I need a lot more coverage, or like if I'm going out and I need it to stay. So for example, I use this New Year's Eve, and sometimes like that. It looks very dark in the bottle next to my face, but actually once it's blended out, it does actually look okay. Again, this has got a fantastic shade range. It covers everything, and it's a beautiful product. It blends so well, leaves a really flawless finish. It is weightless. It really doesn't feel like you've got anything on. It does last all day. It doesn't fade off. It doesn't smear. It doesn't do any of that nonsense. It's non-drying. It is quite dewy, so I do tend to mattify it a little bit just because it's a bit shiny for my face. But yeah, honestly, this is like my love. This is possibly the favourite foundation I've ever used, and I would definitely continue it, although it is like £30 a bottle, but worth it. And now time for the drugstore one. I find this actually very, very comparable to the Nars All Day Luminous Weightless, which is probably why I love it so much. And this is the Revlon Photo Ready Airbrush Effect Foundation. This is quite a recent love of mine. I've had this since probably November. And I have the shade Shell, which is absolutely perfect for me. Again, it does look dark in the bottle, but actually on my face it doesn't look bad. In this lighting, my face looks very, very white, and this looks very yellow. But in real life, it does actually work. Again, it's got a beautiful pump. It's got really decent packaging. This was, I think, £8 maybe, which I think is absolutely brilliant for a drugstore foundation. So, sorry, I'm really hungry, so I'm really struggling to like concentrate. I haven't had breakfast yet, and it's like 20 to 11 in the morning. But yeah, so this is my favourite drugstore foundation so far. Like I said, I find it very, very comparable to the Nars foundation, but for a fraction of the price. Again, it blends beautifully, leaves a beautiful finish on the face. This is more of a natural finish than the Nars. So this is more of a natural finish, but it's absolutely stunning. I love the way it looks on the skin. I love everything about it, and I think for £8, it's so, so worth it. So worth it. Okay, next I'm going to move on to sort of powders and bronzer and contour and highlight and things like that. So I'm just doing it in the order that I would apply it to my face. So the first thing that I want to talk about is my bronzer that has just stood out to me this year, and I haven't got a full-sized one. This is what I got in my Birchbox, but I will be getting a full-size one. This is the Benefit Hoola bronzer, which, you know, it's one of the most well-known bronzers in the world. Anybody that knows anything about makeup will have heard of Benefit's Hoola bronzer. It's really perfect. I initially was a bit worried that it would be too dark for me and that I would need the Hoola light, but to be honest with you, it's not a problem that I've had. The only thing that does annoy me is that my pan comes out, but, you know, how often am I holding my bronzer upside down? Let's be honest. It applies beautifully, it blends beautifully, it is absolutely perfect. It's a perfect shade for me. It's absolutely stunning. It works so, so well. It's an amazing bronzer, and I would definitely recommend this to anybody. I haven't tried the Hoola Light, but I would probably recommend it if it's anything like this to people with fairer skin tones, just purely from the way it applies, the way it looks. It's absolutely stunning, and it is my go-to bronzer. Next up, I've actually done this out of order, is the powder that I have been using. Now, I am not oily. I'm not an oily person. I'm also not dry. I'm very fortunate in that I have combination skin, which is pretty handy. However, I will sometimes buy a foundation without realising that it's actually quite dewy, which is not a look I like to go for. I like natural. I don't like matte foundations either. I don't like dewy ones. I like natural finish foundations. And occasionally I'll pick one up and it's a bit more dewy than I would like the Nars, and actually the Revlon as well is a little bit dewier than I would like, although it is more of a natural finish. And my BB cream that I use a lot is quite dewy as well. And this is what I use to mattify it and to keep it all in place, and it is the Maybelline Matte Maker. This is one of their new products. I got this probably about a month and a half ago, and again, the packaging is a bit rough, like the pan's already come out of the packet, but you know, when you're paying £4 for a powder, you don't really expect it to have proper solid, decent, you know, packaging. However, as a powder, this is excellent. It does not cake. It applies really, really nicely. You can reapply it later without any concerns at all. You obviously cannot apply makeup over the top of it because it is a powder. So if you can apply powder products, but you can't apply liquid products, which is annoying, you know, if you sort of need to redo your concealer or whatever. But if you do need to repowder, it's absolutely fine. There is, like I said, no caking. It doesn't cling to dry patches. It doesn't, nothing. And I find I don't have to repowder with it. If you are oilier than me, you may find that you have to, but it's not something that I have to do, which I find very lucky. So I would definitely recommend that. Obviously, if you do need to powder extra, then it's great to use. So, and finally, in my little base section, I will talk about my contour and my highlight because they both come in a kit, and it's this. This is the NYX 3-Step to Sculpt. This is the lightest shade they have. It's called Fair. They do not have a great shade range, so I'm just warning you that it's not a great shade range as well. So this is my contour shade. It works really, really well for me. Obviously, it will probably not work for people that are fairer than me, and it most certainly will not work for people darker than me. It is highly, highly pigmented. That is one thing I will warn you about. It is highly pigmented. You do have to be very careful with it. However, the reason why it stuck out to me so much is because it blends absolutely beautifully, and it leaves you with a really gorgeous, natural looking contour, which is something I struggled to get. Because the fairer you are, the ashier your contour needs to be, as a rule, and I find almost every single contour colour is too warm. This, however, I have not had a problem with. I don't know if it's just the shade or whatever, I'm not sure. But it works, and it's absolutely fantastic. I would definitely recommend this. I do have a review coming up on my blog on this, like a fill-in review, so if you want to check that out, then I will leave my blog link down below. And also in this kit is the highlight. Now, this is my favourite. I'm not a highlight wearer overly, and this is very gold, and it is quite glittery. Like, I don't know if you can see, but it is quite chunky and glittery, and it gets bloody everywhere, which is a major pain in my ass. But on the face and on the skin, when you swatch it on your finger, it does look chunky, it does look glittery. However, it doesn't feel chunky, it doesn't feel glittery, and when you apply it to the face, oh, it is absolutely beautiful. It's definitely not something I would wear every day. I am much more of a person that likes to keep it kind of natural every day, but for going out, like I wore it New Year's Eve, for example, for going out and just putting this nice little poof of glitter on or shine on your face in a gold colour, and I was wearing a green dress, and I had like gold nails and I had gold eyes, so it all sort of like melded together and looked absolutely stunning. And again, it's so easy to apply, it's so easy to blend if you do muck up, and that is the biggest reason why this has stuck out to me, is because this is the only thing I have found this year that within the palette everything works. All three of these products work. The contour works, the highlight works, the powder works, and it's the only thing that I have found that has done that for me. And that's why it's in my roundup. Okay, next I'm going to move on to my eyebrow, and unfortunately I only have one product in my favourite eyebrows. In my favourite eyebrows, because I have multiples, I just pick and choose which one I want to put on every day. I only have the one eyebrow product, which is a bit of a shame, but honestly, the only other thing I can think of, I don't actually have anymore, which was the Anastasia Brow Wiz Pencil, which I absolutely adored, but this is very, very comparable to it, and this is my current favourite, and it's sticking out to me so much because I absolutely adore it. It's by NYX, and this was about £9, I believe. My partner got me this for Christmas. It is slightly terrifying. It does look like a weapon. I don't know why the end of this is so sharp and weird. And long. I have no idea why it's so long either. So yeah, it's a twist up pencil, and then you have an angled nib. I have the shade Ash Brown. It's what I have in my eyebrows right now. It's the perfect shade for me. I was absolutely stunned that my fiance managed to get me something in the right shade. It's absolutely amazing. Not because he's useless, because he's not. He's actually pretty good at makeup. However, I have an odd hair colour, and I need something that is both ashy and dark. It needs to be dark but not warm, if you know what I mean, because of my hair colour, and obviously just to suit my face. So I'm impressed with that. But yeah, this is absolutely beautiful to use. The pencil is really nice and soft. Well, actually it's not. Like, it doesn't really come out on your hand, which is really odd. Like, I'm like proper drawing on my hand and barely anything is coming out, but once it's applied to hair, it comes out beautifully. It is pigmented, but it causes a beautiful gradient in the eyebrow without even actually trying that hard, and I absolutely love it. It's amazing. It's the only thing I will use in my eyebrows at the moment. So Okay, next is eyeshadows. Now, I have 3 palettes and a singular eyeshadow that have really stuck out to me this year. So, I'm going to start with a singular purely because I don't know who it's by. I don't know where it's from. Nothing. My mum gave me this, and it's this beautiful burgundy reddy type colour, which I am all about. I absolutely adore that colour. It's amazing. However, obviously it is difficult because I can't tell you where it's from or who it's by. I have a feeling it's by Vital Radiance, which has now stopped, which was a makeup line by Rimmel, I believe, maybe? No? I don't know. For mature women. And my mum gave me this because she doesn't really like dark eyeshadow colours. So she gave me this, and it's stunning. It's really pigmented. It's pigmented, but not too pigmented. And it's beautiful. It blends really well. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. So now moving on to the palettes, I have 2 high-end and 1 drugstore. So I'm just going to start with the drugstore one, and it's this. This is the Maybelline the Nudes palette. I am missing a pan. The only thing I will say is the packaging is absolute crap. Just ignore that. The packaging is awful. The palette itself is £10, which I think is pretty reasonable for, you know, when you get 12 shades. So I think it's pretty reasonable. And I love this. This one is just something that I've used all year for various things. I've used darker ones for eyeliner if I don't want to have like proper thick black liquid liner. I've used it for crease colours. I've used it in my eyebrow. For Halloween, I used some of the grey ashy tones as a contour. You know, I've used the pretty gold shimmery ones for lid colours. It's fantastic. It's a really good product. Definitely worth it. I would definitely recommend this to anybody for £10. And actually, all of the Nudes range are really good products to me. I know that some people don't like them, but I think they're really good products, and I would definitely recommend them. So now it's time for my 2 high-end, and the first one is this. This is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. As you can see, it's very well loved. I'm not going to open it again because the mirror's in an awkward position and it'll blind you. But again, you get 18 shadows in here. You get nice solid metal packaging that is magnetized. Although it is an expensive product, I would definitely recommend it purely for that purpose. But the shadows themselves, they're absolutely stunning. They smell of peach. They blend beautifully. The palette itself is aesthetically really nice to look at. I know sometimes I look at palettes and I think, why have they put those bunches of colours together? Never thought that with this. It's absolutely amazing. I used this probably every day for like 6 months out of the year. So yeah. And finally, in like eyeshadow section is the Kat Von D Chrysalis palette, which just looks like this. Again, I looked at this palette and I thought I can totally understand why those shades are together. I love the packaging. It's absolutely beautiful. It's not as sturdy as the Too Faced palette, so I probably wouldn't like travel with this, purely because it's not as sturdy and I'd worry about it breaking. But I absolutely love this. Again, the shadows are absolutely beautiful. They blend really well. They are very soft to the touch. The colours themselves are absolutely stunning. They blend beautifully. They feel really nice to apply. And this is my baby. So, yes. Okay, moving on to like other eye bits, like liners and stuff like that. I have 2 mascaras and 2 liners, but I can't find my other liner, so I'll just talk about that one first. And it is the ABH eyeliner. It's what I have on today. It's sort of like a long pen with a gold band around the bottom. I'm not sure how much it is. I'll have to look it up and put it in the description box for you, where everything else will be. But I use that one and this one that I'm about to show you for my eyeliner, and it's lovely. It's pigmented, it applies beautifully, it makes it very easy to get your eyeliner even, which is something I struggle with. So it's absolutely stunning. And the last eyeliner that I want to talk about is this one from Ico, this little baby here. This is the Ico Liquid or Skinny Liquid Black Eyeliner. It's a pen. It's little, so it's really good for travelling. The nib itself is actually quite thick, but it applies my liner really beautifully. It's very pigmented. The nib itself is very soft, so you have quite a lot of control, but not too soft that it's kind of up, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's a beautiful liner, very, very dark, very, very black, very pigmented, very easy to apply. So I'm just going to talk about the 2 mascaras that have really, really stood out to me this year. And the first one is this. This is the Covergirl Clump Crusher Mascara. I haven't been wearing this as much recently. I'm wearing it today. But when I want a sort of natural mascara look, this is what I go for, purely because it elongates lashes, it thickens them, but it doesn't make them clumpy. So you get quite a natural looking mascara look without it being really, really obvious that you're wearing mascara. It's black, it applies beautifully, it has got a slightly odd, like, bent banana wand, but that obviously helps to do something, I'm not really sure what, but it's a beautiful, beautiful mascara. It doesn't smudge, doesn't transfer, just stays where you put it, dries really quickly, makes your eyelashes look beautiful, and I adore it. And my next one is more for, like, if I want statement, which is what the name of it is, like, big, obvious eyelashes. And this is the MUA Amplify Statement Lash, so Makeup Academy. And this was like £2 or something ridiculous. I got this in Superdrug. I picked it up just because I really liked, like, the tube. Like, I like this little clear bit in the top, and I just liked the way it looked. So I picked it up, and I have been wearing it ever since. I have the shade Black Brown, which... normally I go for straight black, but because it is such an obvious mascara, I wanted it to be a bit more subtle so it didn't look, boom, massive black lashes. But it is absolutely amazing. It makes my lashes look beautiful. It makes them volumized and long and thick. And honestly, I would definitely recommend this. This is as good as some high-end mascaras, no doubt. It doesn't transfer, it doesn't smudge, nothing. It's fantastic. And finally, I am moving on to lips because I don't really wear much else makeup wise. And the first thing that I want to mention is a lip balm, and this is the Pixi by Petra lip balm, and it's tinted, I think, in the shade Natural. And I adore this lip balm, although it is quite strongly scented, which I don't like. It's slightly tinted, which is really nice because it means that whilst you're only wearing a lip balm, it's got a little something to add to you without, like, having to then put on a lipstick. And it's, honestly, I love it. Although I think it is expensive for a lip balm at £8, I would definitely recommend it. It's made with shea butter, so it's all completely natural, and it's very, very nice to apply. Mine got snapped, which is why I've only got a little bit left. My son decided to snap half of it off. But yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful product. I would definitely recommend it. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is a lip pencil, and it is this. And this is the shade Nude 3, and this is by AOC, Academy of Colour. And I picked a kit up in Morrisons for like £2. And this is what this lip pencil is amazing. It's really soft, but not... it's just the right amount of softness. It's not too soft that it kind of like snaps or moves. It's just the right amount of like texture and solidity that that a lip liner really needs. But it's soft enough to produce pigment without like cutting your lip in, like microblading your lip. It's a beautiful, beautiful shade. It doesn't move. It really does lock your lipstick in place, and it's a beautiful, beautiful shade. And to go alongside that, here is the lipstick that comes with it. Again, this is the Nudes number 3, and this is a matte liquid lipstick. This one I really like. I love the smell of it. I love the application. I love the colour. It's a beautiful, beautiful colour. It matches up perfectly with the lip liner. It's a gorgeous dark pinky mauve, which is like my favourite, as we all know, I'm sure. And yeah, I absolutely love it. And that kit together was £2, so that works out that each product was £1 each, which is absolutely amazing. My second thing that I want to talk about is this. This is one of the Makeup Revolution Icon lipsticks, and this is in the shade Chauffeur. I do have another one in the shade Inclination, which is slightly darker than Chauffeur. And I love both of them. They're amazing, amazing lipsticks. They apply beautifully. They're long-lasting. They are moisturising without being like a lip gloss and shiny. They are a really good price, like £3 each. So they're a fantastic price. I love Makeup Revolution anyway. I think they're a fantastic brand that really doesn't get the love that they deserve. So yeah, and my final product from my beauty roundup of 2017 is this. This is a Collection Velvet Kiss moisturizing lip cream, and this is in the shade Caramel. As you can see, it's quite small. This was £3, which I think is a bit much for what it is. It's quite small. It does fit in your handbag beautifully. It's nice and travel friendly. It smells gorgeous. Smells like dessert. And this is in the shade Caramel, which is like a nice nudie colour. I'll just do a little swatch. It's like a dark nude, basically a dark brown. It's this one here. It's not overly long lasting, which is one thing I don't like about it, so it's not that long lasting. However, the colour is absolutely stunning. It's beautiful to apply. The only downside to it is that it isn't that long lasting. It does take a little while to dry. It does dry down matte, but it does take a little while to dry. So yeah. So that is my beauty roundup of 2017. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it's a long one. We always knew it was going to be. And I really hope you've had a fantastic day. Please give it a big thumbs up and press the big red subscribe button if you did enjoy it and you want to see some more of me. I will leave all links to the products mentioned down below, and I will also leave links to my other social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and my blog. And I will see you all on Thursday. Bye bye.